So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Carla. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I am excited to be here.
You're very welcome. So, tell the listeners about you and why are you passionate in helping others reclaim their joy?
It was not ever a plan to become a beauty and wellness life coach. I just kind of fell into it. I started actually just selling makeup and skincare. And as I was doing that, and I was working with women, doing skincare evaluations and things like that, you get to talking. And I started to realize that so many women are not confident in themselves. They don't feel right in their own skin. They're afraid to try new things, try a bold look, um, and really just be their true selves. And I started to realize I wanted to do more than just help them, create a makeup look or have a skincare routine. I really, truly wanted them to find their joy in life and get out of their comfort zones. And I thought, why not do coaching?
Mhm.
So I, took all the steps, all the classes and certifications to become a life coach. But I also didn't want to give up my beauty and wellness business. So I kind of meshed the two. And I realized that you can only look as good as you feel. You only feel as good as you look.
Mhm.
It's full circle. So it really does matter. And, I challenge women all the time. I'm like, put on a red lipstick and tell me you don't suddenly feel just a little more confident, a little more powerful. Like there's just suddenly some extra like pep in your step, right?
Right.
Um, or, if you're using wellness products, obviously those things are going to make you feel better. And the more we get in tune with what brings us joy, it really comes down to it's all forms of self-care. Makeup, skincare, what we eat, the exercises we do, spending time with ourselves, taking a nap,
Mhm.
all of that is self-care. It's whatever brings you joy, right? Whatever works for you, anything that you look forward to. And if you keep those self-care cups full, you're going to perform better at everything you do. You're you're going to be a better mom, a better wife, sister, student, teacher, worker, employee, daughter, you name it. You're going to be better for them because your batteries are going to be charged. You're going to be present in the moments you have with them instead of feeling drained or having your mind in 100 other places. You can be there for those precious moments because you've taken care of yourself, because you feel good. And the longer I've done this, the stories that I get from women about how, how much better they're feeling and they got a new job and, they're spending more time with their kids than they did before and they're enjoying it more because they get to be present, the more rewarding it really truly gets to be a life coach, especially in the beauty and wellness space. So the evolution has led me to this, and I couldn't be more grateful and loving it more.
Wow, excellent. So,
Yeah.
Carla, is there a formula to create a plan and reach your goals? Are there specific steps that one can take to do that or?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I will tell you that the first step is self-care because no matter what goal you're going for, you have to be in the right mindset. You have to have the energy. You have to have the drive. So it could be a professional goal, like you're trying to switch professions. It could be a weight loss goal. It could be whatever. But if you're not charged, it's
Mhm.
going to be really hard to reach those goals. If you're not rewarding yourself, taking care of yourself, then it makes it a lot more challenging. So, number one is prioritizing self care every single day. Going into your calendar, setting alarms on your phone, which accountability comes in a little later too, to make sure you're recharging every single day before you try to go out on any bettering yourself goal in some way. Take care of you as you are currently first. So that's always the first thing that I work with my clients. Um, and then writing down your why. Why do you want this goal? Because you're going to need to remind yourself of why you're doing something when it gets hard, because we lose sight of why am I doing this? Especially the harder the goal, right? And sometimes if the eye is not on the prize, if that reminder, that visual thing isn't right there, we get lost and we forget why we're even doing it. So I love doing like vision boards or making your phone background, your goal, what it is, why you're doing it. So it's a constant reminder.
Mhm.
And then obviously you want a detailed plan. A lot of times that's where like coaching comes in. Sit down and actually make a step-by-step plan of what you're trying to reach. But then accountability is going to be like that clincher. So, how are you holding yourself accountable? How are you checking in? How are you rewarding yourself? Reward systems are really important. And that's again where coaching comes in. I probably work on accountability with my clients more than anything. That's what I become, is like their accountability partner. I'm their check-in, their go-to, because I will tell you, you're 95% more likely to reach your goals with a coach. And that's insane statistics. I mean, 95%. And the reason is because it's easier to just let yourself down than when you've committed to someone else, because now you have someone else involved that you don't want to let down, right?
Mhm.
Or that you're paying to help you get this goal. So then it becomes even more important, right? When money gets involved, of course. So having a coach kind of drives it home for you. And that's why those statistics are so high, because you don't want to let that person down
Wow. So the first stage to that formula is self-care.
every time,
Eh,
always. Set
Great.
that up first. That's going to set you up for success. That's the groundwork that you always want to lay, because you can't really improve yourself
Mhm.
if you don't love yourself first, if you're not showing yourself that love, finding your joy, and keeping those batteries charged.
Wow. So, Karla, we talked about the formula to like a personal challenge. Is there like a magic formula to live your best life? Do we go back to self-care or is there a magic formula?
It's funny you said that. I actually just did an entire podcast episode on the magic formula, MAGIC. It's an acronym. You can break it down. But basically, if you incorporate those 5 things into your daily life, you'll automatically practice self care without even realizing that's what you're doing. Um, for example, M is movement. Adding movement into your day every single day is good for every part of your body, inside and out, mind, spirit, physical. It gets the juices flowing. It releases happy endorphins. So you got to get movement, right? Um, and as you go down those, so of course, like A for me, that this can mean lots of different things, but um, you can look at it as like doing affirmations every day. Positive affirmations can be your A. There's actually lots of different versions of this, and I always encourage to do what works for you. But that leads into G, gratitude, practicing gratitude every day. The more you appreciate what you have, the more you will get. The more that will keep coming to you as you are appreciating what you have. So there's always something to be grateful for, right? You woke up today, you can be grateful for that, right? If you have nothing else, there's always that. But it can always be like, I'm grateful for my cup of coffee because it helped me through my afternoon, right? It can be that simple for sure. I is intuition, especially as women. Listen to yourself, listen to your gut. It really truly knows best. If we could just get more in tune with listening to ourselves and, pushing out all the noise around us, truly magical things can happen for sure. Um, and then I'm drawing a blank here on my C.
Mhm.
I didn't have it written down in front of me. What is my C? We change them a lot because my clients, I try to make sure that I am doing what connects best with them.
Mhm.
I may have this written down right now, though, drawing a blank, it's late in the day and I was just talking about coffee because
Mhm.
I haven't had any coffee yet. Let me see here.
Consistency? No.
That actually is one of them that you can use as your C because everything takes practice.
Mhm.
So if you do something just once, right, like a one off,
Mhm.
there's it's going to make you feel good, and it could make you feel better for that moment. But I really feel like when you do something over and over again, that's when it becomes a habit for you.
Mhm.
Um, the C that I more commonly use, and it's coming back to me now, is connection because especially in the world we live in right now, it's a very digital world, it's a very virtual world. Especially after the pandemic and everything that went on, we became very disconnected. Connection can be really important as well. So just connecting with someone every single day and having a conversation of some kind with someone outside of your regular household. Um, it can be really, really empowering, and it's interesting because it doesn't have to be in person. It can be a phone call, but just speaking to someone, and it needs to be someone who moves you up, not down, someone that brings you joy, something that is uplifting, supportive, not a Debbie Downer. We don't want to make those phone calls. Those are going to drain us, right? We're trying to fill, we don't want to drain.
Mhm.
But just spending time making connections. It's even better if you can get out and go have a cup of coffee with someone, talk in the backyard with your neighbor, someone walking by with their dog, anything. Those human connections feed our souls, and they just keep us kind of in touch with reality and the outside world, and not always in our phones and our laptops and our virtual little worlds that we're kind of living in on a day-to-day basis right now. So I use connection probably more often than anything. But like I said, these things can be interchangeable. But the important thing is that you have that magic formula. You write down those your five things that kind of play into that, and do it every day. And just by doing that, you are practicing self care.
Does the person have to have them in the same order, like magic, MAGIC? Does it have to be movement, affirmation, gratitude, or can the person put gratitude first, or does it have to be in that acronym?
Definitely doesn't need to be in that order. That's just an easy way to remember it
Okay.
because, we're forgetful. At least I am. Women over 40, we forget everything. So I love acronyms and cheat codes and, things that, just help me remember things on a regular basis. So that's why I did it. We do that in an acronym formula, just easy to remember. But any order is great. And for me personally, I actually always start my day with my gratitude journal. That's just right off the bat. I do a gratitude journal, and then I do my workout, which is my movement. So I almost never go in that order. And I'll tell you, there's probably going to be days that you don't hit every letter. You want that to be your goal.
Mhm.
More, try to hit all the letters every single day that you possibly can. But it's okay if you don't hit them all every single day. Like every day is not going to be perfect. We're all human. We have very busy schedules, but hitting as many of them as you can a day adds up over time. It creates very, very healthy, productive habits, and you will see the benefits if you're, again, doing it consistently.
Great. So Carla, you stated that there are five self-care languages. What's that? Is it the same as the magic formula, or is that something different? And how can one learn these languages?
Okay, so for the five love languages, I think there's other versions of this out here, but this is just what I came across because you always hear about the five love languages.
Mhm.
And, I'm like, well, how do we love ourselves? It's great to love other people, but you do have to love yourself first. It's very, very important, right? It's going to make you better at loving other people if you love yourself first. So I took each one of the five love languages, and I just said, okay, how do we do this for ourselves? So one of the love languages is physical touch. So for ourselves, applying your favorite lotion, That's physical touch. It's showing yourself love. So next time you're applying lotion, don't just apply it. Think about it. Enjoy it. Do a little massage. Enjoy the smell a little longer. And especially as women, sometimes we don't get a lot of alone time, especially if you're a mom, kids are always around. So, putting on some lotion, that might be some of your only me time that you get during the day, right? Just that amount. So that's why it's so important to like savor the moment, so to speak. Um, that's why I like using love languages too, because it's hard to fit in self care um, in our pockets of our day. And this is a good way to do this as well. Another one is words of affirmation. So the love language, you're telling the other person positive things, but we very rarely speak positively to ourselves. We are like so hard on ourselves and we don't need to be. It's not good for us. So instead, try saying kind things to yourself every day. What are you proud of? That you've done an accomplishment. Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you're strong, you're successful, you are worthy, all those things. You should be literally telling yourself these every single day, just like you would tell other people, right? Like speak to yourself like you do others. Because that, again, eventually, even if you don't believe these things right now, the more you say them, the more they become a reality and you start to realize your own self worth. So, words of affirmation is a really big one and something that we definitely practice with coaching. Gift giving, we
Mm-hmm.
love to give gifts, right? But do you give yourself gifts? Treat yourself, right? Treat yourself. It can be, it doesn't have to be something you buy either. You can make yourself your favorite meal, or, maybe you give yourself a spa night where you take a bath with a candle and some music, door shut, no interruptions. That's a gift for yourself, right? It could be that new outfit you've had your eye on or what, that new product, but just giving to yourself. Again, that's kind of tying into reward systems. And I always like to mention things that don't cost money, right? Because there's always a way to practice self-care on every budget. So that's why I mentioned baths and cooking dinner, things like that. Um, Another one is quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Take yourself on dates. Date yourself. So that could be taking a walk in the park, take a
Mm-hmm.
snack with you, right? A little picnic in the park. You could take yourself to a museum, a concert, out for a coffee. Um, just date yourself. Do stuff with yourself. Learn to be with you, so you can really kind of honestly find out what you actually really enjoy, because a lot of us just tend to be people pleasers. So we go where everybody else wants us to go or where we're obligated to go or whatever social function we have on our calendars, but we don't often plan a self date for ourselves. Right. So that's a really good one for love language. And then acts of service is last. And acts of service, again, ties in with that quality time, taking yourself out, spending time with yourself, doing kind things to yourself. All of that are acts of service. So you just take the 5 love languages and put them on yourself. Show yourself love.
Wow, nicely said, Carla. You also have a podcast. What is it about, and where can the listeners engage with your podcast?
Yeah, my podcast is Job and Joy. It's very new, just started in 2025. We're about 8 episodes in. It's a weekly podcast, and it's basically me doing life coaching, bringing all the topics that I spend time with speaking with clients every single day about. It can be self care. Again, we've talked about the magic formula, the love languages. I have a positive self talk episode, gratitude episode. And I really tend to deep dive into like goal setting, things like that, how, kind of like a toolkit for you. And then I like to dive into topics that are a common struggle, especially for women 40 and over. So that could be like sleep habits, right? Getting the energy up. Um, because it's a rough time. It's a rough time being a 40-year-old woman. And I feel like we just need all the help we can get. And I try to bring, any advice, tips, tricks, it suggests products, whatever, it could be as simple as, hey, use a satin pillow when you sleep. It'll literally keep your body temperature lower because we're not educated. We are not educated to be 40-year-old women properly. I think we're getting better at it, but I don't think we're there. I certainly wasn't told that a satin pillow is going to be useful someday. It's also good for your hair. So there you go, beauty and wellness.
Wow.
you know,
I'm learning
that's how
quite a
my
bit.
podcast works. Yeah. Yeah. It all full circles. I'm telling you, it all ties together.
So,
Yeah.
Carla, let's talk a little bit about your life coaching packages. I know you do have at least three different packages.
Yes.
How can the listeners schedule a coaching session with you, and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, so you can go to my website, beautybycarlajoy.com. There's a full tab just for life coaching there. I actually have a free 100 plus self care activities guide that you can go grab. Highly recommend that because, like I said, it all starts with self care. And I want you to have tools for success, whether you use me as a coach or not. And it literally has it broke down to where if you only have 5 minutes of time, whole list of ideas. If you have 15 minutes, whole list of ideas. So you don't have to try to think on the fly. You got this whole guide that you can turn to and say, okay, how am I practicing self-care today? Because sometimes we're our own worst enemies and we can't get out of our own way, and we can't come up with ideas. So it's a great guide. Definitely go grab that. But then I also have a self-care workbook that you can grab where it actually helps you step by step go through goal planning if you're someone who prefers to kind of work on your own, or you're just kind of wanting to get a feel of how I work before doing a coaching program. But my three programs, it's kind of like small, medium, large, so to speak. So if you only want to commit to like 30 days to start with, there's a package for that. If you want a 90-day package, there's one for that. And then there's a 6 month one as well. So it just kind of depends, A, what your goals are, how far out you want to commit. A lot of my clients will start with the 30 days, see how they're liking it. Then they'll do a 90-day after that. So there's a little something for everybody there, but you can go right in, grab the packages there. As soon as you do, you're going to hear from me. You're going to get an invite to my calendar where you can literally pick your own time spots that work for your schedule so that you can get your coaching, and you'll have options if you want weekly, bi-weekly, if you just want to do monthly. So it's totally customizable and you can fit it into your own schedule.
Wow. So Carla, is the workbook, is it only on your website or is it on Amazon? Can somebody get it somewhere else or is just only on your
Right now, it's just on my website.
Okay.
Um, Maybe expanding to Amazon at some point, but just on my website right now, all of my resources are there. And I'm actually doing for the month of April code JOY20. You can get 20% off any of my coaching packages or my workbook. And that's JOY, like find your joy. So you can use that. I also have a whole page of free guides that are beauty and wellness related if you're interested in those kind of things as well. So, bedtime skincare routine, a guide to facial massaging, things like that. If you're just like, I don't know what order to do my skincare in, I'm not even sure. Like, there's that. If you're just looking for pampering guides, those are there too. And those are all completely free, and on the same website. So everything is all on one website for you. And I definitely recommend signing up for the newsletter. I do giveaways, fun challenges. I put all my specials in there. I do a weekly newsletter where I actually put a coaching corner in there with some extra coaching advice for you every single week free of charge. So that's a good resource as well while you're there.
Can somebody connect with you via social media or just your website? Do you have
I'm
your
on all of them.
all the social medias?
I'm
Okay.
everywhere. I'm everywhere all the time. So I'm Beauty by Karla Joy on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So you can find me at the exact same tagline, Beauty by Karla Joy, anywhere, anytime. You can message me on Messenger. You can DM me on Instagram. You can private message me on TikTok. However you want to do it, whatever media works for you, I'm there. And I'm posting on all of those every single day with different resources. Again, some of it's beauty, some of it's wellness, some of it's life coaching, lifestyle. Kind of share it all there.
Sounds good. So
Mhm.
we do have another episode coming up in the next couple of weeks. And Carla, um, what are you going to talk about? Your shop wellness? Are you going to talk about your beauty products? Give us kind of a little rundown on what you're going to like focus on in the next episode.
Yeah, I'd love to share some of the beauty and wellness products that I promote. So I actually work with some beauty and wellness companies as an affiliate. I'm very, very selective on the companies I work with. They have to be women owned, ethically sourced. They all have to have some kind of cause. They make donations to some kind of a cause for women or, greater awareness. And they all have to be clean. EU certifications, no toxic ingredients, things like that, organics. So it's a short list, but I love to share those brands because everyone can benefit from something from one or more of my brands. So if you love makeup, I got you. If you love skincare, I got you. We got hair. I even do fashion. And then we get into wellness. So I promote some like collagen supplements, functional mushrooms. I have a sleep aid and a daily greens that I promote that I absolutely love. So we'll definitely get into what I promote, why I love those, and what benefits you can get from it.
Sounds excellent. I like that. So,
Yeah.
so tell us again, where can the listeners get in touch with you?
So again, you can find me on any social media at Beauty by Karla Joy. You can go to my website, beautybykarlajoy.com. And then my actual podcast is called Java and Joy. And I'm obsessed with coffee. So that's where the name's coming from. We're having a cup of coffee and we're doing some coaching at the same time. Hence the name of that podcast. So that's what that's all about. So you can find me at any of those. Or if you just want to email me at beautybykarlajoy@gmail.com. I keep it real simple. We got the same name for everything. So again, I love things simplified, easy, because life is not simple. So I'm going to simplify it for you where I can.
Sounds great, Carla. Well, Carla, it was such a pleasure to have you on Beauty of Colors podcast.
Thank you for having me, Cleanne. I really enjoyed it and I look forward to coming back.